Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly. Can you hear me?
Oh, cool. Yeah, I can hear you.
Awesome. All right, two techies doing
Yeah.
technical things.
And I'm getting a little bit of audio lag, but hopefully that clears up soon, or I could restart real quick. But it looks like we're live. Nice. Thank you so much for showing up.
We're live. All right. I like it.
Yeah. So thanks for showing up on the show, showing up for 100% Mexicana's Raid Train.
Pleasure.
Why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Well, wow. Let's go to the beginning. I was born in Russia.
Oh, nice.
Hence DJ KGB. Yeah, I was born. I was born in what formerly was Ukraine, or now is Ukraine, but was part of the 15 republics, right, in Russia.
Mhm.
I came to the United States when I was 9 years old. I grew up in Denver until I was about 20, then moved to California and been here ever since. I've been DJing since about 1987.
Oh, wow.
Music has always been part of my, it's been part of my life, man. I love music. I couldn't play instruments, so I started DJing. I had a cousin who got me into DJing. And my true profession though is I'm in IT. I've been in IT since 1983. Sorry,
Oh, nice.
1993. Yeah. So I've been in IT
We have
for a
very
long time.
similar upbringings.
So that's just kind of a high level, 15,000 foot, overview of what KGB is all about.
Very nice. Well, very nice to meet you. I feel like we have a lot in common, especially in terms of the tech side of things. So that's quite a long time to be DJing. What kind of got you started into DJing aside from liking music? What inspiration did you get, or what inspired you to kind of get started into that venue or that route?
My honestly, my biggest inspiration, like I said, was I had a cousin who, when we were growing up in Colorado, in Denver, he, just like me, was always into music. A lot like me, couldn't play any instruments, never really got formally trained to play the piano or the guitar, what have you. So we kind of found our niche, and our instruments started to become turntables.
That's awesome.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so he was a club DJ, and I remember even when I was like a young buck, 12, 13, 14, I was trying to sneak in to watch him play. He kind of took me under his wing. He kind of was my mentor. Um, and a couple of times I was lucky enough to sneak in. I saw him rocking the crowd, and I said, "Oh, you know what? I mean, I know he's not a rock star, but hey, a DJ is like a rock star. I mean,
Yeah.
people are going crazy, you know." Um, and so I had a chance to kind of do some toolage under him. I was able to then befriend a couple of other friends, a couple other guys who were DJs, and before you know it, I started doing clubs through my cousin. I started doing clubs out in Denver. I was able to get on the radio for a couple of years out in Boulder, Colorado. And then I started my own mobile DJ business. I guess a lot of DJs do that, to kind of make extra cash on the side, because back then clubs didn't pay a whole heck of a lot. So you
Right.
kind of
A
hustle
lot of
on the
times they
side.
still don't.
They still don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's getting actually even worse these days. But that's either not here nor there. But then, then I got, I'm not going to say I got bored, but it just wasn't, it wasn't financially feasible to live the DJ lifestyle. It was actually kind of tough. You're like a rock star. You're out all night and you sleep
Right.
all day. And, then I met now my wife, and got married, kids. And so I got a real career, I would say. Not that DJing is not a real career, but
No, of
you kind of,
course.
you kind of know what I'm saying.
Stable career.
A stable career. Yeah.
Right.
A much higher paying career for somebody, on my level, a career that pays the mortgage and keeps the lights on.
Right. I know it's unfortunate that creative work doesn't kind of even out the way that normal, I guess, traditional work does, because music is extremely expressive and it does take a lot of work. And even like how you were saying that it kind of wears you out. Like if you're in the club like for hours at a time, like trying to keep everyone all hyped and jumping up and down and yelling and singing or whatever you're doing, like it really does take a toll on you, and then trying to be creative and keeping everything at a production value that's fun and entertaining. It's constantly keeping your mind going. So I think it should make a lot more. We should be. I'm not a DJ myself, but creatives should be kind of respected and paid more to keep that kind of
I
stuff going.
I agree, but this day and age, you've got. Oh, by the way, hello, 100% Mexicana. Hello, 80s chick. I
Yes,
see you guys in
women
chat.
of
What's
the
up?
hour, women of the day here.
Women of the day, women, the
Yes,
women
women.
of the day.
Yes.
Um, if you talk to a lot of bigger name DJs, I think to a man, each one of them, or to a woman, or both, they will all tell you that there's just a lot of young bucks coming up that, um, are just willing to take whatever to go play
Right.
in a club. So, they're kind of undercutting everybody else. And,
I think
they're now setting a much lower benchmark now for what guys
yes.
are paid.
That's one of
So
the biggest things I've noticed is that there's a huge range of quality and skill when it comes to DJing. And I mean, not to talk down about anyone, of course, because everyone has different levels of skill and everyone gets better over time. But I've noticed that like some people really do create like every section of their music, and others really do create a playlist. And that it's really interesting to see the differences in artistry, just like any other music, on what gets put out there. And sometimes a lot of it's reliant on the original artist's music, and sometimes
absolutely.
it's reliant on the DJ's skill itself. And I feel like it's a lot more rewarding to go through kind of a DJ's expression of what he's trying to say. It's kind of like a story. I had DJ Move on, and he was talking about
Mhm.
how he kind of tries to create a story based on the songs he chooses and things like that. And I think that's how it should be. It's all expression and not just a playlist.
Oh no, exactly. And I'm not one of those. There's a lot of DJs even on Twitch or in a club. They don't really put a playlist together. They just go in and I'm not gonna say they wing it, but they just crate dig.
Oh yeah,
I'm not like that. Every set I've done so far on Twitch, I've actually put it together. It's a custom list, based on the genre or based on what I'm gonna do that night or that day. You know.
nice.
So
No,
yeah.
I definitely respect that, because you could tell when you're in the club and you're hearing the music what kind of thing you're listening to. Um,
Yeah, and in a club, it's a lot of times it's the way I do it and the way a lot of DJs do it. It's actually like it's a 50-50 mixture. 50% of the music you're gonna hear is what the DJ likes to listen to, and fifty
mhm.
percent is what they're gonna play for the crowd. You know.
How has that kind of
So
transition for you from going from live venues to more Twitch and online?
well, just like everybody else, it was a big transition. I think for me personally, it was much easier because I'm very technical. So even like setting up OBS and setting up all of my cameras and my scenes and everything else, um, kind of came natural. Being in IT, I've actually helped a lot of other DJs and a lot of other streamers in setting up their channels and their emote walls and their gifts and everything else.
That's
Um,
awesome.
so from a technical standpoint, it was really easy. From just not being in front of a crowd, that was a little bit more of a getting used to because
Right.
we're so used to being in front of a crowd, feeding off of a crowd, seeing people's reaction when their song gets dropped, and then going into Twitch and just basically staring at a webcam
Yeah,
and trying to
exactly.
feed off of the chat, you know,
From a webcam in an
uh,
empty room with headphones, you're not hearing or
with a green
feeling
screen behind
everything.
you.
Yep,
Yep.
exactly.
Yep.
Um, Speaking of reactions, how do you like? Is there a difference, when you have a ton of people in your chat, kind of like showing love and support? Obviously, it's probably more fun having real people around, jumping around you and stuff. But you can have quite a few more people in your chat than you would at most venues. So I mean, unless you're like doing a stadium or something big, but like, does that translate as well? Like, if you're just like, holy crap, I have like 500 people watching me or something.
Yeah, absolutely. The more people you have on your live set, the more people you have in your chat, it kind of hypes you up. But
Right.
like for me personally, I've always treated every stream the same, whether I had 500 people, 100 people, 40 people, one person.
Nice. That's how it should be.
I've
Yeah.
always, yeah. And then, I always try to, not always, I always greet everyone. I always try to shout people out. Now, when you have 500 people, I've never had 500 people. I'm sure it's a little bit more difficult. This is when we
Mhm.
rely on our mods,
Right.
um, because at that point,
Shout out 100%.
the chat goes nuts.
Yeah,
Was
that's
that
true. Yeah, shout out 100% Mexicana for being a mod. No, but yeah,
super mod?
even as a small streamer like myself, I hardly get any views even compared to anyone in the chat right now. But having even my first 4 or 5 people in, I already had issues where they were being toxic or doing things that were inappropriate, and I realized very quickly the need for mods on a platform like this.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I can definitely understand how that would scale as you grow. So
Y-
that
Oh no, absolutely.
it's like you got to be
Luckily,
your own bouncer.
yeah, you got to be your own bouncer,
Yeah,
and you're relying on other people to help you bounce. Because I think an average streamer, an average DJ just doesn't realize how much is going on, behind the scenes.
right.
When we are playing, between trying to run a couple of computers, trying to stream, trying to keep an eye on the chat and what's going on there, looking out for possible rates to, picking out the next song and trying to keep things up and oh, by the way, sometimes my daughters will come over and want something
Yeah,
like,
exactly. You're
you
still at
know,
your house.
and
Yeah.
by the way, that is the one benefit of being in a club. No kids
Yep.
asking, Dad, I can't open this can.
Not even that. Like I'll be recording a video or a tech tutorial or something, and my dogs will just start barking out of nowhere, or like someone outside will start honking, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I wish I was back at my office.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
so I do my I do my power workout on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and on Tuesdays, usually my gardener gets here at like 3 or 4 o'clock. So
Oh
I
yes,
usually miss him. The other day, he was
that's
here at
here too.
11:30, right in my set, and I didn't realize. Obviously, I have my microphone on the whole time,
Mhm.
and I'm like, "What is this buzzing noise?" I couldn't figure out this buzzing. It was my gardener. I didn't know he was in the bag, and he had the weed eater going, and I couldn't figure out that it was him. I thought there was something wrong with my controller. I'm
You're
like
like, where's
starting to
this buzzing coming from?
like, where is this coming from? And I'm like, oh shit, that's my gardener. Turn that mic off.
Shout out,
I'm
hello
like, come on,
to
hurry up already.
DJ Chicago. Thanks for dropping into
What's
the
up,
chat, and
DJ Chicago?
80s chick.
DJ Chicago
Thank you
was
for
on my
dropping in the
set last
chat.
night. Yeah, what's going on, DJ Chicago?
But yeah, I have the same thing here. I don't have a place. I don't have an apartment. But we have a regular crew that comes in and does all the lawns and everything like that. And I have to learn their schedules and know not to record during that time
Yeah,
because it's like,
yeah.
all right,
So
for the next 6 hours, it's gonna be pretty much loud.
yeah, so I actually had to come out and talk to him afterwards. I'm like, hey man, I'm trying to work here. Can you come at like 3 o'clock, like going forward? Like between
Right.
11 and 1, I'm trying to work. If you could just maybe go grab your lunch or something, and.
I know. I think
So,
here they
but
start at
no,
like 6 in the morning too.
yeah. But getting back to doing live gigs and Twitch, I honestly I love being on Twitch. I mean,
Nice.
Twitch has been a godsend, obviously not just for me, but for a lot of DJs. During the past year and 7 months now, 6 months. I tried to do a couple of streams on IG or on Facebook, and just like every other DJ that I'm sure you've either had on or have heard tell stories, within 10, 15 minutes, man, we'd get shut down. So,
Yeah.
and then we start up, play another 15 minutes, and you'd get shut down. So Twitch has been amazing in terms of just letting DJs be DJs,
So
and
that's a question I usually bring up to each person on Twitch is how do you navigate and negotiate the DMCA stuff on Twitch? Because that's kind of scary to me too.
well, I play. So before Twitch, I used to never be a video DJ. I was just strictly audio in the clubs. And so when I came on Twitch, one of the first DJs that I saw was doing music videos, and so like a light bulb went off. I'm like, oh, hey, I have a whole hard drive here full of videos. I'm gonna do videos because
Mhm.
I can give, the end person an experience of not just listening to audio, but also get the visual of music videos like the old MTV style.
Right.
Um, so I mean, just like everybody else, I mean, you kind of just have to in terms of videos, you have to make sure that everything's clean. You kind of have to curate things. Um, and a lot of times I'll just I'll play a lot of the remixes from artists, and you kind of try to give them credit as best you can.
That makes sense. Kind of
Um,
push through the automatic catches.
yeah, but even when you play just regular, let's say top 40 edits, when you're doing it live, Twitch doesn't mute you. They don't shut you
Yeah.
down. I mean, if you're saving your videos and your audio, they'll mute you afterwards. But at least they let you get away with doing your full set. Even for some people doing a 24-hour set,
Yeah, and
they don't
especially
get
if you're
shut.
not keeping your clips up and stuff like that, it's about the live performance, and once it's done, it's done. That makes sense.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. But I have, I don't know. I just like a lot of DJs. We all have fears that eventually,
No, of course.
see things going to happen.
Hopefully,
So
it's gonna change for the better, because I feel like there are some easy solutions if they just figure out the licensing situation and say, like, you know, set up a deal
hey,
with
I
someone.
believe, listen, I believe we contribute just as much as anybody else to, not only just getting people's new music out to,
Yeah.
that which correlates to people going out and buying those songs through iTunes and through everything else. So
And it's transformative. It's not like I said in the beginning, it's not like you're just playing a playlist. You're curating music, you're putting things together, you're mixing, you're remixing, and it is a
exactly,
performance. So I think it
exactly.
should be. Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of times we're remixing on the fly. People might not catch it, might not see it, but a lot of us, that are pretty savvy and have the experience, we'll remix things and we'll do mashups on the fly. So with instrumentals and stuff like that.
And how do you do any or many collabs with other DJs? And if so, how does the audio situation work? Does it kind of switch back and
I
forth, or?
Yeah, I honestly have not done collabs, not on Twitch anyways. I know a lot of DJs do. They use what is it, StreamYards or whatever, to
Oh yeah.
collaborate and kind of back to back sets. But I've talked to a couple of DJs about doing back to back sets, but it just hasn't come to fruition yet. So
That's cool. Quick note to those watching. I want to apologize. We had a slight glitch in the studio where it's not showing our text. So chat's not quite showing up on the screen like usual. It is showing up on the screen, I guess, but not on my desk. It usually shows up on my desk. And once in a while, the audio's been a little bit glitchy, but I think for the most part, it sounds really good. And we're still getting through
hopefully
the intro, right?
hopefully the glitch wasn't on my end. And by the way, shout out to Ella Saint. I see Ella Saint in there. What's up, buddy?
Hello, hello. Thank you for the follow too. Yeah, thanks a lot for the same. So how do you keep one of the things that well first I want to ask about your name. I forgot to ask about your name right at the beginning. So you're from
You want my legal name?
well
my,
no
my
no no
government
no. Let's not dox you here. Let's not leak that.
name?
Though I
Oh, it's
did see
okay. I
it
mean,
in the Zoom. No, just kidding.
yep.
um,
You got it. Yeah.
is there a reason you chose KGB just because it's funny, or
I honestly,
favorite movie that it came out in or something?
I didn't choose it. Somebody chose it for me.
Really?
Yeah, it
They
just
just gave you
happened.
the nickname?
They just gave me a nickname. Yeah, and it was right at the beginning. A couple of my friends obviously knew that I was Russian, and I think it was like my first or second gig. Didn't really have a name. I was playing, and I think somebody came over and said, "Hey, look at the KGB is playing music." And the other friend said, KGB.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
well, there you go.
unique. It stood
And it just
out.
stuck.
It's funny.
Yep. And it just
Um,
stuck. Yep.
and how do you keep, like you were talking earlier about how some mods are really necessary? Aside from just banning people, how do you keep positive vibes and like positivity in the chat? I guess from your end, because that's
Being
one of the
silly.
things that I learned about you is that you
Telling
you
dad
kind of
jokes.
keep a positive. And oh, dad jokes are amazing, especially on Twitch for sure. My weakness.
You know what? I honestly think that it starts with personality. I think personality goes a long way, and I think people feed off of people's personality. I mean, we've all been in channels where the streamer is just dry and doesn't have a personality, and it kind of just correlates to their chat being stale and things just not being fun. Um, Man, we just try to have fun on the channel. Besides, I mean, everybody plays great music, pretty much. Music is music, but I think what stands out is doing something different, being creative, getting people involved in the chat. We do shots on my channel. We do dad jokes. We usually
Nice.
just talk silly stuff, and we just have fun. I think, at the end of the day, we all want to have fun, and that's
Right.
if you're having fun on your channel, it kind of just correlates and it portrays into the chat and everybody else that is on the set at that time.
Right. I think that's what I'm trying to switch up in my studio is when I usually play. Sometimes I get really focused in the games or whatever it happens to be that I'm doing, and I don't talk as much, especially if I don't have a lot of people in chat. I'll kind of just be like zoning out doing something instead of actually talking or
Yeah.
interacting. So I think that's why I brought in the studio, is just because there's so much stuff going on at once, and things happening in the studio that it makes it a bit more interactive and fun,
Yeah,
and it gives
and
me
there's
more to talk
just
about too. So
and there's just so much more stuff that I kind of want to do that I see other channels like one of my good friends, and everybody in the chat here knows him. There's a DJ by the name of Jeff Butler. He probably has the most insane, the most incredible channel. It's so interactive. He's got all these crazy commands, and every command triggers something. He's got like a live bubble machine over him, so you can trigger like a
oh,
bubble machine. It
nice.
sprays bubbles all over him. But he is super duper technical too. So every time I'm in his channel, I'm so envious because his channel is incredible. So there's just, I'm not even scratching the surface of what is possible.
Right.
You know,
I've seen
in
some
a
channels
channel.
where they have
Yeah.
like the lighting affected by chat, and they have like a playlist that automatically chooses the next song that's going to be mixed in, and like
Yeah.
all these crazy things.
Yep, he has that. You can change his color of his lights, like you put him to green or fuchsia or whatever, and it's pretty crazy. You
Oh,
know,
that's sick.
and, yeah, and there's a lot of channels out there that have incredible visuals. Like I don't know if you know who DJ Joshua Carl is. He's got an incredible channel. His visuals are
I'm actually gonna
bananas.
go
You know,
through this VOD after and check out all these channels you're recommending, because I haven't heard of a
yeah,
couple of them. Yeah.
yeah, crazy visuals. For me, I just do music videos, and I mean, I've got a couple of visuals. I got a couple of cool scenes here and there, but at the end of the day, I think it's about music. It's about having fun. It's about bringing out a positive vibe. It's about making people forget what is going on the outside world, and maybe their
Absolutely.
troubles or maybe their problems. They want to vibe out for a couple of hours. They want to listen to good music. They want to socialize,
That's what it
and
is. It's the vibe for sure. Like, I mean, sometimes even if it's not a party vibe at my house, like I'll have work to do or writing to do, and I'll just put on like a friend DJ on their stream, and they'll just be playing music and hanging out and chatting once in a while.
uh,
And since I'm not having a conversation with them directly, I don't have to necessarily like I could just focus on what I'm doing and enjoy it, and that's really valuable, especially with things like this with raids. Even when one person is done streaming, they send you off to another friend and then another friend, and just you could just keep it in the background. It's nice.
exactly. And that's the other point is I think it's so important. There's a couple of channels that I know they don't believe in rating. They just
Yeah.
boom, they're done. When they're done, they're done. Well, if you got 50 people, that's like kicking 50 people out of your club onto the curb and say,
Yeah.
okay, bye. I think it's so
Exactly.
important to rate. You know,
Yeah.
it's
I
yeah,
literally rated someone for the first time when I had like 3 viewers, like only three.
yeah.
And I rated them and they were so stoked. They were like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for bringing these new people into my chat. That's amazing. And like, they were actually happy for it. I'm like, that's great. Why wouldn't you want new people to be into why wouldn't you want to send off to other friends and help people out?
And I think that kind of segues into another piece is that you mentioned there's you don't mind rating with 3 people. I think there's a lot of DJs that have mm, well, I'm just gonna go out and say it. They have such an ego that if they only have 2 or 3 people, they're like, well, I'm not gonna rate with 2 or 3 people. It's gonna make me look
Oh,
bad. It's gonna
that's
hurt my ego.
interesting. Yeah, that,
Uh, I
yeah.
don't give a shit. I've rated with one person. I took down
Yeah,
a solo
every
rate.
person's important. Every person's a potential follower, friend, sub, everything.
Yeah, because DJing is a very egocentric business. So
Fair,
so,
you are kind
so
of the center of attention. The whole club's rocking around you.
yeah, yeah. But there's some DJs that they let their ego kind of go a little
True.
too far. So
So we only have about 5 minutes before we're gonna raid 80s chick. So do you have any shout outs you'd like to give out aside from the ones you've already given, or things you'd like to say before we jump over? I want to make sure that we're that she's ready for a raid too.
I shout out everybody in this channel. 80s chick, Electro Saint, 100% Mexicana. Hey, shout out to you, Mike.
Hey,
It's
thank
been
you. I
fun.
appreciate that.
Thank you for having me on. I know we've been trying to get me on a couple of times, but
Yeah.
just it's been a line. But hey, it's good to be here.
Yeah, honestly,
thanks for having me on.
He's just not gonna let it.
I was trying to go to her raid page and it started playing ads on another person's stream. Let me try and find her real quick.
Hey, shout out to Restream Bot. There you go. There's your moderator.
Hey. Let's see.
DJ Chicago, DJ Aussie. I see DJ AYCI. Is that AC? AC. I think I'm going to be rating him after my set for 100%. So
nice. Okay, so it looks like she is streaming right now. It's live stream starting soon. So let's go ahead and start this raid. And we'll go all say hi to her.
100% shouting me out. Thank you.
Thank you everyone for following DJ AC, Nana XO, El Otro Saint, 80 Chic, DJ Chicago, Tronics Productions. Lots of love this stream. Thank you to everyone watching. And let me see if I could do this raid correctly. Raid. And then 80s. Check. There we go. Thank you so much, DJ KGB, for showing up. I hope to have you on again, and I'll definitely be checking out your stream.
Anytime you want to have me on, please just reach out.